Hi, I'm Sabrina, and I'm going to be demonstrating to you how to communicate with somebody who is deaf and or hard of hearing. My purpose is to help facilitate some communication between the two individuals trying to convey some sort of a message. I would like to give you some quick tips and some examples on how you can do that. And first is follow their lead. If a deaf or hard of hearing person comes to you with a message that is written out on a piece of paper, then it would be appropriate for you to reply back, writing back on a notepad, such as this, what the message is. And so the next thing that I would suggest is being able to, if it was a simple yes or no, you could shake your head yes or no. You can point to the direction, give some directional sign with your hands. That's always appropriate as well. Now, the next thing that I would like is gesturing, and if you are in a position where you need to gesture, or the person came to you and was speaking and kind of gesturing, signing, you may be able to understand and convey the message that's being sent, and in turn gesture back to them. If you're doing so, I would think of yourself possibly playing a game of charades. The next thing I would like to share with you is that the 911 system, at least in my area, has come up with a feature where the deaf and hard of hearing are able to reach emergency services, 911, via text messaging. And that is just phenomenal. I am so grateful. So many of the deaf community members are very thankful and grateful for how technology has been an asset and has assisted them in communicating. I would like to show you something else that I've found. Now, this was something that the Arkansas School for the Deaf and Arkansas Police Department came together and with this visual aid, and this is designed for a deaf and or hard of hearing individual to have in their vehicle. And as you see it, the police officer, the deaf individual would hold this up, and the police officer would be able to recognize that they are deaf and or hard of hearing. It's two-sided. So here's where they'd be able to point out to the officer, if they were not doing this, that they are deaf and hard of hearing. And with this, be able to start communication with this. If more in-depth information is needed, again, you could use this tablet, and this would give you, do you need a hospital? Are you out of gas? Was there an accident? Officer can ask to see a concealed weapons permit. This is a beautiful thing for somebody to have in their car. So you don't know when you may need to use something like that. The modes of communication vary from individual to individual, and it also depends on the setting and the environment and sort of relationship that you have with the person. If there are video phones available, and at times, if needed, depending again on situation, circumstances, there are interpreters. When I'm speaking about the interpreters, I want to also touch on the idea of asking the deaf or hard of hearing person what type of an interpreter that they would like to use and have for them, because again, American Sign Language is not the only way and only form of communication that some deaf or hard of hearing use. There are acute speech and there's SEE, and again, I don't want to go into that, but I do want to help you to become mindful and understand that there are various modes of communication, and there are different ways that we as people can adjust our ability to communicate with one another depending on circumstance, place, and who it is that we're speaking to. And those are just some of the ways that you can communicate. And I, again, would like to recap on some of those are you could show by showing a particular picture, like I need an interpreter, or I need, I can lip read. Very appropriate. Gesturing. You can write it. You can, say small, big, really big. So don't limit yourself. And if you are interested in learning more, this is a really fun topic and useful. You can visit your community center, community college. Cities also do have deaf centers, and so there are classes out there that are available. If you are interested in learning how to speak one of these signed languages, I do encourage you to do so and connect up with one of those agencies, schools, or community centers. Thank you, and I really do hope that this presentation and will help give you some tips and tools how you can better communicate with the next hard of hearing or deaf person you have the opportunity you interact with. Thank you.